Now, as I always say, if there is a game of politics that you cannot predict, the next fallout is when it comes to the politics of the Republic of Kenya. As of today, the PA to President William Ruto, Farouk Kibet, together with the Kapseret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi, took their fight in the western part of Kenya. Now, when they were attending a certain event in the western part of Kenya, they decided to point their guns and the muzzle of their guns towards one Trans Nzoia governor, George Natembeya, the current kingpin of the Luhya nation and the founder of Tawe movement. Now, Natembeya has been a great advocate of the unification of the western region of Kenya. He has been trying in every way possible to rally the people of the western region or the Mulembe nation behind one candidate, and more so, telling them to keep off involving themselves or following one Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. More so, going contrary to the currently signed MOU between Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Ruto. I want you to listen to the sentiments made by Farouk Kibet and one Oscar Sudi. And apart from that, somebody also seems to be defecting from the government of President William Ruto, heading towards Natembeya's movement and joining Natembeya's movement, trying to consolidate the Luhya votes together. And this somebody is none other than Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Wetangula, as we all know, he wasn't happy with Raila Amolo Odinga joining William Ruto through the MOU agreement, together also with Musalia Mudavadi. But Musalia Mudavadi is a coward. We all know that. He cannot mobilize currently the Luhya nation to follow him. But Moses Wetangula is a man that knows how to read the crowd. And if he reads a situation and a plot against him, he is always the first person to react and make a counter move. And it seems the counter move of Moses Wetangula is following George Natembeya's footsteps of uniting the Mulembe nation through the Tawe movement. I want you to listen first. We will start off with one Farouk Kibet. Listen to Farouk Kibet.
Moja na leo nataka niwaulize. Ati Natembeya anasema ati mimi nisitembee Malava. Inawezekana? Natembeya no muziru na mbwe no mushiru ta. Ati hale kabisa. Sasa wewe unaweza kupinga maendeleo ya watu namna gani? Si mimi nitembee Malava? Nitembee Malava?
No, that is Farouk Kibet.
Nebashere mnamuzungura atie kabisa. Mnamuhuma. Atie kabisa. Akawulira.
Now that is one Farouk Kibet. And he has taken his fight to George Natembeya, telling George Natembeya that there is no way you will block me from going to the Mulembe nation and also speaking with the Mulembe people. And he seems to be very versatile with the Luhya language. And that is why the man, though he is a Kalenjin, he is speaking fluent Luhya, addressing the people of Mulembe nation. Now, apart from this plot of Farouk Kibet countering and fighting one George Natembeya, the other man who is his counterpart joined him in attacking George Natembeya, and that is Oscar Sudi, the Member of Parliament of Kapseret. And I want you to listen to Oscar Sudi before we go forward. This is Oscar Sudi and his statement. Now listen to him. Now, this is Oscar Sudi, and let me tell you, if there is some certain foolish statement that one can make, is the ones such such as the ones that were made by Oscar Sudi, saying that Natembeya is not working for the people of Tanzania is one of the greatest satirical comments that I ever heard. When it comes to the governors that are delivering to their people in the Republic of Kenya, according to Infotrack data, Governor Natembeya holds the second position. He holds the second position after the governor of Murang'a, Governor Irongo Kang'ata. So tell us, how can you say that somebody is not working for his people, yet he is the second most performing governor? What is your governor doing, Honorable Oscar Sudi? Hmm? What is the governor of Baringo doing? What is the governor of Nandi doing? What is the governor of the other regions of the Rift Valley doing? Because Natembeya is the representation of the Rift Valley region. And let me tell you why this fight has been plotted in this manner. They know, though Natembeya is a lawyer and represent the LUYHA community, he is a very crucial player when it comes to the 2027 general election, because Natembeya is leading and he is a governor of the Trans Nzoia County, which the Trans Nzoia County is not made of the LUYHA community alone. The Trans Nzoia County is very versatile. It comprises of a very large number of Kalenjins. It comprises of a very large number of Kikuyus. So Oscar Sudi and Farouk Kibet have been given a mandate to make sure that they deconstruct and immobilize one George Natembeya by terming him as a liar and somebody that cannot be taken serious by the people of the Mulembe Nation. Another factor, the Mulembe Nation is the second largest community in Kenya after the Kikuyu people. Now they know if the Mulembe Nation, the way they seem to be following this man at a high rate, they know that there is no way President William Ruto is going to make it to State House without a valid number of votes from the LUYHA community. And it seems he is losing that through George Natembeya. And George Natembeya has decided, it is my mandate. I will put my life in line to make sure that I unite the Mulembe people. Are we together? And that is what hurt them most. You know, the job of Farouk Kibet and Oscar Sudi is the job that is supposed to be done by the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. But the Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki, has refused to take part in this tribal politics. He has shied away from fighting George Natembeya. And that is why most of the time when you hear that Kithure Kindiki has fallen out with people like Akina Farouk Kibet, these are the reasons. Instead of performing his duties, which he is supposed to perform as as the Deputy President and the protector of the President, he is leaving this mandate to the advisors and the PA to the president. And that is why, if there is a task that these people have, a very hard task, let me tell you, and I will give you a clear example. If Rigathi Gachagua would currently be serving as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, then this Natembeya's fight would be one that Rigathi Gachagua would take to heart. He would be deconstructing Natembeya left, right, and center, protecting President William Ruto. But he isn't there. So these people are regretting in a very bigger way of what they did of the move they made of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua. Now I want you to listen to one Speaker of National Assembly, Moses Wetangula. Moses Wetangula, also today, as these people were speaking, he was also holding a certain meeting in his county, Bungoma County. And this is a counter of what Oscar Sudi and Farouk Kibet are doing. And that's why I'm telling you, Wetangula and William Ruto are not in good terms. Listen to this. Moses Wetangula.
Bungoma, we are the third largest county in Kenya.
Yes.
For wingi watu. Nairobi, Kakamega, Kiambu kwa sababu spillover ya Nairobi, lakini Bungoma ndio tuko namba 3.
Now, this man, for the first time, he has started making political moves. He is telling, for the first time, he has started speaking the language of George Natembeya. He is speaking the Tawe language. Why am I saying this? George Natembeya, his agenda has always been to call upon the leader Luyas, akina Moses Wetangula, akina Musalia Mudavadi, Wycliffe Oparanya, to all come together and make sure that the Luya votes count and they have they have a place at the high table. They can negotiate at the high table. Not somebody, not for them to be taken for granted as they have always been taken for granted. That is what George Natembeya has always been saying. As we know, the Kikuyu people are the largest community in the country, the Mount Kenya region. And for them, they always come together when it comes to in terms of negotiation. And that is why, even with William Ruto and everything that is happening, it is becoming so hard, even with him joining hands with Raila Amolo Odinga, it is becoming so hard for William Ruto to kick the Kikuyus in the cabinet out of his cabinet, because these people have the highest negotiation power. So the second number that should have the second negotiation factor are the lawyers, because they have a higher number of votes. Now, for the first time, I say this man is also speaking the language Natembeya is speaking, because he is saying Bungoma County is the largest, the third largest county in terms of population of people. But when it comes to voter registration, they find themselves with about 600,000 votes. So he is advocating for ID registration of the people of Bungoma County. And he has promised even the chiefs of Bungoma, whoever registers the highest number of ID cards and makes sure that the people registered have acquired voters card, then will be rewarded. Any chief that does that will be rewarded an amount of 1 million Kenyan shillings. Now that is Speaker Moses Wetangula. Moses Wetangula, as I said in the previous video, he is sending signals to Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto. It doesn't matter what you think that you don't need me, but you need me. You know, there have been conversation and rumors of Moses Wetangula being kicked out of this government because, you know, he has nothing to offer to William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. So he is trying to prove that point. And to prove that point is the conversation that he has started speaking today. And this conversation is a conversation that seems to be leading him to the door of one George Natembeya. And he will join George Natembeya in this. Are we together? And you hear these people talking about finishing tribalism. Like Oscar Sudi was speaking about killing tribalism. But if the Speaker of National Assembly, who is a part of them, and the part of their convoy, is speaking about their people, my people, register, this and that, we are the largest, we are the third largest. That is the highest number of, that is the highest level of tribalism. Are we together? So, you can't attack George Natembeya for speaking the language that the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, is speaking. No. And I tell you, Wetangula is a key player. He's a man that reads the signs. He's a weatherman. He knows when it's about to rain. And he doesn't want to be outside when it rains. So it's either he joins a function that will protect his interest when it comes to the politics of the year 2027. And he knows currently the lawyers, about 80% or 70% of them, are listening to George Natembeya. So for him to be safer in the Mulembe nation, he has to speak the language George Natembeya is speaking, whether they like it or not. It is high time that now they realize they don't have anybody to help them fight George Natembeya because they lost Gachagua. Kithure Kindiki is useless. He can't threaten George Natembeya. Are we together? When you look at this in a broader picture, you will understand what I mean. Tell me what you think about this. Leave your comment on the comment section. Now, Speaker Moses Wetangula starting to speak the language of George Natembeya. And this seems like Moses Wetangula is helping George Natembeya fight this cabal of the Kalenjin leaders, Oscar Sudi and Akina Farouk Kibet, who have ganged up to make sure that they tear down George Natembeya's growing influence in the Rift Valley region and also in the Mulembe Nation. Leave your comment on the comment section. Subscribe. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.